Hi, this is Juan from eduNEXT, and in this video I'm going to be showing and demonstrating some of the reporting and analytics tools available in edX and specifically in eduNEXT software as a service subscriptions for edX. So the first layer of reporting is of course the reports that are included in the instructor dashboard in the LMS. Here is the LMS inside one particular course, and as long as you are an admin or a staff user for that course, you will get access to this data download tab in the instructor dashboard, and in here you will find a number of options for you to generate and later download CVS files, comma separated value files of different type of reports. For instance, the grade report or the student profile report or the problem grade report, or some reports specific for open response assessment data. Once the reports are generated, you simply download them. You can open them with the tool of your choice, for example Microsoft Excel. In this case, since it's a comma separated value, I may have to go to the Microsoft Excel configuration and make sure I delimited the data properly so it's properly formatted. But other than that, the data is ready to be read and modified or altered or used for building graphs or pivot tables or anything else. So that's one of the options, and this is really useful, but at some point it may be limited, since the profile information that it's printed in this kind of reports is basically the email, the username, and the student IDs. So sometimes you need the full username or some other information that belongs to the user profile. So in those cases you may have to cross-reference to different files. So that's what the capability that's included in the standard edX. So additionally, in the software as a service subscriptions by eduNEXT, we've built this additional reporting module, and this tries to solve some of the issues that we found over time with the existing available reports. For example, one being that you don't have the capability of filtering. So in this kind of reports, you will go to your management dashboard, you will go to this section, generate report. You will see the selection of reports that we have available. Currently this shows 4 different reports: user report, enrollment report, certificates report, and timed exams report. So for example, an enrollment report, it's also available in the standard instructor dashboard from the LMS that I just showed. But in this case, you also have a filtering option, so you can, for instance, have a filter to apply to the data so that only specific records are displayed in the report. Or one thing that is very useful is you can generate this report across your courses, so you won't have to be generating a report on a course per course basis, but through all your courses at the same time, and then apply some filtering in terms of, for example, the type of enrollment or the status of the enrollment or the specifics of the profile information for the user, something like that. And after you've selected your filtering, this is totally optional, then you will be able to select what type of file you want to output. So if you are using Microsoft Excel, you can generate directly the proper format for avoiding the need of then afterwards making sure that the data is well tabulated. Or you can also use generic formats such as CVS. You will be clicking here the generate reports module, and it will take a few seconds, and afterwards you will be able to download your report in this my report section, and they will be kept here for a while as needed. So in here you can download those and of course, well, open them again in Excel as usual, as expected. One key advantage of these reports or reporting module is that you will find more detailed information about the users, for example the full name, and some additional information and profile information across all the users of this reporting module. So it has proven very useful for being able to manage across your courses in an easier manner. Now for the final layer I want to explain, I'm going to talk a little bit about edX Insights. So edX Insights is a separate application that takes care of processing all the logs, all the server logs that the application acquires during the operations, and processing them in a way that they provide some very actionable insights into how the courses are being operated and are working. So edX Insights is included in eduNEXT Software as a Service Performance subscription. This is a really great value. So here is a peek into how Insights works. Once you log into the edX Insights platform, you will be able to see the courses depending on the level of permissions that you have on your course. So if you have access to the course in Studio, you will also have access to the data in edX Insights. You will find these main sections about course enrollment, who are my learners, course engagement, what are my learners doing in the course, and course performance, how are learners doing on course assignments. So if you go to the enrollment sections, basically you want to answer questions like how many users does the course have, how many enrolled users does the course have, and how has that number evolved over time. So this is taken on a weekly basis, and you can get and also download this data if needed. This course, for instance, has reached a number of 1,500 users. And then you can also see out of those users some demographics data, some graphs in which the data is breakdown by for example age in this case, or level of education in this one, or gender in this one. Of course, this all depends on the information that the user provided at the beginning. So if some of those fields are not required and mandatory, you may have some fields that some sections that say unknown. But if they are all mandatory, this data will be quite complete. And finally, you have the breakdown by geographic location, so by which country the users are accessing from. This is really interesting information to have. That's the enrollment section. Then you go to the engagement section, the second section, which gives you a measure also on a weekly basis, computed on a weekly basis, a measure of how much engagement your users have had. And this is measured basically by counting the number of learners that went into the course as active learners, the number of learners that watched any video inside the course. This is the green line, and then there's the orange line. That's the users that tried any problem, like submitted a response to any of the problems. And finally, the ones that the one in pink, the ones that participated in any of the discussions. So that's 4 different ways of measuring student activity in your course, also over time. And for the specific case of videos, you have this section here where you can drill into any of your sections and subsections until you reach any particular video. And for each and every video, you can see these statistics of how many viewers the video had across all the length of the video. So this can help you find if users are getting out of the video because it's probably too long, or if there are some parts of the video that are not engaging enough and people is not really continuing the visualization, the playback of the video, or if, for instance, there are some sections that are really popular and people replay them and replay them again. You would have a peak in this kind of graphs. That helps you understand how the engagement with the videos is going. And finally, there is the performance section, which allows you to take a look into, for all your sections or subsections that are graded, or even for the problems that are ungraded, drill in also and see for each of the questions what was the split between the correct answers and the wrong answers. In this case, most of them were correct, but here you see the not correct answers, how they scored and how many people selected each one of those. So this also helps you understand if there is probably some problem in the way the questions were designed, or if the users or the learners are committing the same mistake systematically. Maybe you can improve your content material to help them navigate the information better. Finally, there is a section about per learn analytics. This one is not particularly useful unfortunately, because it relates only to the last 2 weeks of activity. So we don't really use this one that much, but in theory the idea is to be able to see in the last couple of weeks which learners were more active in terms of watching videos, participating in discussions, and answering problems, so that you can have a sense of who's leading the activity in terms of your user population. Okay, so that was a quick review of the different alternatives. Keep in mind that edX Insight doesn't give you the identity of the student for most cases. So this is a high-level analytic information for you to make decisions, not really a reporting tool. You cannot get, for example, for the I don't know, responses, performance responses analysis we were seeing, you cannot get who were the students that selected each particular response, or for the engagement report you cannot see who were the students that actually generated these metrics, because it's not meant to be a reporting tool. It's more high-level analytics. And in terms of high-level analytics, at eduNEXT we also encourage the use of the Google Analytics integration, so that you can also have the Google Analytics platform in order to get a lot of information on what your users are doing and what pages they're visiting, how long they're staying in the different pages, so on and so forth. So this is really simple to use. Just go to your management console, and in this general section make sure you add here your Google Analytics tracking code, and then the platform does everything else that is needed, so that you get the reports in your Google Analytics dashboard. Okay, so I hope that was very informative, and look forward to any questions.